Hello and welcome to SEGA News Bits. I'm Barry, with me is George.
Hello everyone.
And we are going to be talking about Sonic Utopia. Not to be confused with Sonic Fruitopia, a 1994 crossover between... No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Sonic Utopia is not the beverage. It's actually a fan game that was revealed at the Sonic Amateur Games Expo 2016. And it's a project that is said to recapture, quote, the best of Sonic's style and tie it together into a cohesive experience in 3D. So this game was produced by creators Mr. Lange, Murasaki, Tpot and PicsAndPixels. I'm betting those are not their legal names. And then it's said to play similarly to a popular fan game called Green Hill Paradise. But everything in this demo is made from scratch. It's very much an open world Sonic game. George, you've played it. Tell us a bit about it.
It's an open world Sonic game where there's like little courses where you could jump around and do Sonic things. For what I've been playing on it, there isn't a real point to the game. It's just kind of like an experience, a demo, or like a proof of concept. I would consider this more of a proof of concept. Like, oh look, we can make this game. It kind of reminded me, like, it's slow. I think it kind of fixes a lot of the issues that Sonic Team's been having. If you call them issues, I mean, some people would consider the speed of Sonic to not be an issue. I kind of do personally. So this is kind of slows it down, you know, to a more mellow pace. But I like what I played. I just don't like the way the game's been covered in the media. It's like... It's like they always have to shit on the other Sonic Team stuff, like, oh, Sonic Team, this is the best game that's ever come out for Sonic. And I'm like, really? Because it's not even a game. It feels like it's just a proof of concept demo.
Right, of course. And I think that sort of stuff from the media is going to, kind of color our the way we approach this. Because, truth be told, it is a really cool-looking fan project. The trailer, at least, it shows how you can... just run around and go from the loops to jumping to bouncing on badniks. Now, granted, that was probably the developers playing, and so they know the game inside out. They're really good at it. I've seen some fans playing it. It wasn't as elegant, I guess I'd say. Like, the trailer kind of comes off like the Sonic CD animated intro, where Sonic's just doing all these things, running all over the place, and it looks cool.
I just want to point out that, like, even Sonic 2006 looked great in trailers, so Sonic looks good in trailers.
Now, if I'm going to, be negative towards it, it does look very empty and barren. There are some points where you're running for a good 15, 20 seconds and there's nothing going on. You're just running to the next obstacle. I'd also say that it looks like you could get very easily lost. And, of course, that's something that would come from an open-world game, but I kind of feel like in a Sonic game, you need to know where you're going.
Yeah, I think that the issues with this is like, okay, is it a Sonic game? Not really, because there is no open-world Sonic game. There's not even an open-world, technically, Mario game. Like, there's parts that are open-world, but the level structures always get from point A to point B.
Right. And
in Sonic, it's usually going through different ways of getting there. So I don't think this captured what I liked about Sonic. To me, it feels good though. The controls and stuff, what they're going for, I understand. But the open world aspect of it just doesn't appeal to me. I'm already getting kind of tired of it in mainstream games like Far Cry, Assassin's Creed. All these games have like these open worlds where you just do repetitive tasks.
Right.
I'm just tired of open world stuff.
Do you feel like some developers are using open world as a crutch to, you give them a bunch of space, you give them some cool moves, and leave them to it? We don't need to do the hand-holding for level design.
I think that's what it is. I mean, and I think a lot of people just, like, they do a lot of product testing, obviously, for these companies. Right. So I think people like that. I mean, I just got tired of it already, but I think people still like that. So yeah, I think it's a little bit of both.
I think Sonic Utopia, from what I've seen, I haven't played it because I have a new computer. I have a new iMac that doesn't have Windows loaded on it yet. Shame on me. But from what I've seen, anything that I could think would improve it would almost be working against what it's trying to do. Like, I feel like if the level was a little narrower, and if you made paths a little more clearer so you could do all these things, it would start to just resemble a 3D Sonic game, which is what they don't want to have. And so I was just thinking about Sonic Team developed levels that kind of felt like that. And ones that came to mind were, I mean, obviously the Sonic Jam menu, or the interactive Sonic world. Also, if you remember in Sonic Unleashed on the 360 and PS3 versions, there were those day stage hubs where there were all these little, like, you could run around and there were all these little kind of obstacles that would lead to different portals. Yeah. And then the last one that came to mind was Sonic Lost World. In some stages, they felt a little more open, and especially the Legend of Zelda DLC. There obviously was a linear path in that, but when you kicked off, you had this little area to explore. So I think those things can be fun. Personally, I would love to see Sonic games hubs, like they did in Unleashed, be like this. Like, imagine if you land in Green Hill Zone in the tornado, and you're there, and it's similar to this Utopia layout, but different levels are littered throughout there that are more linear. That could be cool.
One thing I noticed that they changed right away was the camera. It seems more zoomed out, which I've heard a lot of like gamers dislike about Sonic since the first game.
Right.
They think that like it's too zoomed in, so you can't see enemies. I guess that did actually affect it. I think it looked a little nicer. I think Sonic Team's already been doing that randomly. Like when you play the newer games, the camera will zoom out, but then it'll zoom back in, I guess, sometimes.
Oh yeah, Generations.
Depending on your action.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think that's all I have to say about this game. What do you have to say?
I mean, I'd love to see more of it, but then again, I'd also love to see what Sonic Team has cooking. So, yeah. But if you have a PC, check it out. What do you got to say about this?
Nothing much. I just want to tell everybody that's listening, if you guys think that Sonic Utopia is the best Sonic game ever made, do you think the mainstream media is going a little too far? What do you think about the demo? And what do you think about the direction that this game is going with? Tell us in the comments below.
And thanks for listening. Do you like Sega? Do you want Sega news? Visit SEGAbits.com and don't forget to visit us on all of our major social networks.